Yeah, so back at it again with another feature card Buddy Fight deck profile. This time it's on Ancient World Duel Jeager. Not Mill, because I don't have my Mill cards yet, but eventually I will do one that does have Mill in it. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. Let's get started. So as I said earlier, it's Ancient World Duel Jaeger build. So my buddy here is Claw Ocean Chief Duel Jaeger. 8k power, 6k defense, critical 3, pay 2 gauge to put up to 1 Giant Chief Emperor from your drop zone into its soul, and it has penetrating soul gun, that's pretty much it. Okay, first off, I don't have any cards in this deck that really involve milling, so really, I don't have Revolted. I have something that acts like Revolted, but I don't necessarily have Revolted. But just in case if I ever did, this card, when it says get a soul card, it doesn't say you have to. It says put up to 1. So say you had 5 gauge and you had this thing, and Revolted, and you could fulfill Revolted's cost if you didn't put a card into this thing. So you can go, okay, pay 2 gauge, buddy call this thing, don't put something into its soul, and then go, okay, evolve into Revolted. That's pretty much what you could do. So starting off with our size zeros, because we actually run size zeros, surprisingly, because I don't have anything else better to run. 3 copies of Apprentice Underling Rookie Aichi. 4k power, 1k defense, critical 1, size 0. Doesn't do anything else but be useless. I only run 3 because I don't actually have another slot for this. If I had, I've been debating whether to put back in my item or my impact or not. But then again, it's not probably worth this since this actually gives it more aggressive. Next up, that's our size zeros. Next up on our size ones and our only size 1, 3 of Underling Knuckler Dan, size 1, 4k power, 2k defense, critical of 2. So when he's on your field, if you have an originally size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor on your field, its size is reduced by 1. So yeah, but it also has a lifelink 1, so it's okay. Size 2 with 2 crit, size 0 with 2 crit, but it does have lifelink 1 if you have a size 3 on your field. But otherwise, it's actually pretty nice. Onto our size 2s. 1 copy of Phantom Dragon Emperor Lucas Vision. 6k power, 4k defense, critical of 2, counteract. If your opponent, if you have a size 3 on your field, discard this card from your hand and you may pay a gauge. If you do, put 1 size 3 from your drop into your hand. It also has a lifelink of 1. This ability is really good because, sorry if you can't see it, this ability is really good because, 1, with that ability, technically speaking, you are able to pick any size 3 from your drop zone add to your hand. Do you get revolted? If I had it, sure. Do you get revolted? Any size 3 for resources for that matter. Sure. Your opponent's about to destroy your size 3. Go, I pay a gauge. Get something back from my drop, so screw you. Fuck you, I guess. Yeah. Also, if you all know that size 3 Duel Jaeger, that's like a counter call if you have 15 or more in drop. That's helpful. Just go, oh, my Duel Jaeger's about to die. Okay, pay a gauge, discard this. I get that Duel Jaeger out of my drop zone. Then counter call. Screw you. Because I win. Because fuck you. Really nice. I would actually suggest running 4, even though it's not a Dragon Chief Emperor. 2 Chief of Wind Messenger Jin. It's 3k power, 3k defense, critical of 3, size 2. Those stats are really fucking shit, except for the 3 crit. But when it enters your field, put up to 1 size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor from your drop into your hand. That's useful. Like I said, Duel Jaeger Revolted, add it to hand. Dynamite, add it to your hand. The thing that is a counter call. That's really nice. Anything, really. It's also good for getting resources back if you actually need them. This card, the next size 2, is a combo that I like to have that I wish I had 4 copies of this card, but I don't. If you see it, you can probably think of what the combo is. 2 copies of Chief of Armors Under the Can. 6k power, 4k defense, critical of 2. Counteract, put this card from your hand into the soul of a size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor monster on your field, and that's pretty much it, and it also has a lifelink of 1. Now, that lifelink of 1 doesn't really matter to me, since you're never going to actually put it on the field itself, unless if it's just for a while, but then again, why would you? That soul thing. If you read into this well, you can probably assume what one of my size 3s is. I'll give you a hint. It's a Jaeger. Now, let's see. Okay. And then finally, 4 copies of a staple in any Ancient World size 3 base deck. Why the fuck do I only have 3? Where did my other one go? No! Okay, well, never mind. You all know what I'm talking about. It's a card that's a staple, and you should not run any less than 4, which I did have more than just the 3 but I don't know where the fuck my other one went. So, Ice Dragon Emperor, Glacies. Y'all know what this thing does. 3k power, 4k defense, critical 3. Counteract, free shot. During an attack on the opponent's turn, if you have a size 3 monster on your field, you may discard this card from your hand and pay life. If you do, nullify the attack. Pretty decent, just nullifies the attack, but also has lifelink of 1. I would say this is better in the hand, since it's just like a hand trap waiting. Now onto our size 3s. The one I was talking about, that was a Jeager that went with under the can. Overturn Chief, Duel Jeager. 10k power, 5k defense, critical of 2. Pay 2 gauge to call it. This card gets +1 crit for each monster in its soul. Overturn, which is an ability that can only be activated once per game, is a counter and it cannot be countered. Discard a card from your hand during your main phase and put the top 5 cards of your deck into its soul. It has Penetrate and Soul Guard. That's really useful, because that just means, okay, God forbid I have 5 monsters in its soul. Oh, look at that, all 5 monsters. Its critical now becomes 7. Oh, I have Under the Can in my hand. Might as well show it in the soul. Now the critical is 8. And that Penetrate and Soul Guard bit, that's like hellfire. I've gone to games where I've literally pushed my opponent so far to the point where if they've actually been able to get past Duel Jeager, even then they still lose because they can't do jack shit while I've been building up my hand slowly. 3 copies of Colossus Ocean Chief, Duel Jeager. My buddy, I run only 3 because I don't have any more. You already know he does. 4 copies of Iron Chief Fist, Strong Gao, or Go, whatever the fuck he's called. If I can peel him off. Okay, whatever. Just look at that one copy. It's 7k power, 5k defense, critical of 3. Call cost. Pay a gauge and put the top card of deck into a soul, and he just has Soul Guard. Nothing else really. The only reason why I ever actually use him is just because of that 3 crit and nothing else. I kind of wish he had Penetrate though. And then finally, 4 copies of the card that is a living hell for my opponent if they can't kill all of Duel Jeager in one turn and they just happen to leave him empty with no soul. Great in my technical version of Revolted. Grey Ocean Deity, Duel Jeager, Horizon. 10k power, 6k defense, critical of 2. Pay 2 gauge and put this card on top of a size 2 Dragon Chief Emperor without soul and then put the top card deck into this card's soul. On place, destroy a monster in your opponent's field, any monster, and this has double attack and Soul Guard but a lifelink of 2. That's really good. In fact, this is kind of in some ways better than Horizon. Because 1, it has the same crit as Horizon, but it's not lifelink lose, but it does have way less fucking soul than Horizon. I kind of feel like this thing's kind of better than Horizon, but you can call me out on that if I'm wrong. Now onto our spells. 1 copy of 100 Demon Sorcery Ryushiko. Counteract. Destroy a monster on your field. If you do, put the top card of your deck into a gate. You may only cast a card once per turn. That's really useful. In fact, that's how sometimes I've went, okay, my opponent couldn't kill my Overturn Chief Duel Jeager in 1 turn, but it still has 1 soul up. So I go, okay, my move, draw, charge and draw, and I have Horizon in my hand. So I go, cast this, blow up my soul of Duel Jeager, charge 1 gauge. Oh, look at that, it doesn't have soul anymore, and I have exactly 2 gauge. Okay, Horizon, screw you. Really useful, actually, in this deck. Run at 4. Or you can run that other card that's either destroy a monster in the opponent's field or nuke a soul. That's really nice. 2 copies of Ocean Emperor style Whirlpool Seal. Pay gauge and life, counteract the rest of monster in the opponent's field. Can be nice if your opponent's like gonna ram into it. How it has like Duel Jeager holding on to Grandes. That actually is useful since both Grandes variants have Penetrate and have really powerful crits. So yeah, run just to prevent Penetrate bullshit. 2 of Dragon Dreams, just gain 3 life. I made a play against R where I kind of paid a total of, I paid technically no life and gained a hand card to gain 1 life. That's kind of cool. That it involved Dragon Dreams. 2 copies of 100 Demon Sorcery Ryubushikai. Pay gauge, counter, destroy a size 1 or less monster in the opponent's field, and you gain a life if you do. Really nice, just pop, die, pop, die. That's really nice and all across the gauge, so it's helpful. Especially if you're playing, what's it called, Astral Dragons, and they have Galaxy Formation out, and as they go for their, as they call Final Phase, you can go, okay, pay gauge, counter, die that size 1, you can't use your impact. Fuck you. Next up is 2 copies of my Rise and Fall of Dragons. Pay 2 life, if you counter, put the top 4 cards of your deck into your gauge. That is really useful, actually, and I just found out now it's a counter. I've had this card for 3 years now, and I've never found out that that was a counter until now. That's fucking sad. But that's really useful. Like I said, with the Dynamite turn, you can basically gain gauge with that. like right before you call it. 2 copies of Dragon Emperor Legend. The reason, the other part of that combo with Dragon Dreams was 1 more card. Put the top card of your deck into your gauge, you gain a life and draw 1, you may only cast a card once per turn. I do have 2 more Dragon Emperor Legends, but I refuse to run them because they have Masato art. If they had this art, I would actually run them, or if they had like the original art, which I don't even know what the fuck that is, but I know it didn't have Masato on it, then I would run it, but it doesn't, so fuck them. Finally, 2 copies of our MV fucking P spell in this deck. Dragon Within the Ocean. Pay 1 gauge and 1 life. If you do, search your deck for up to any size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor, and then put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. It's a once per turn effect. But that is really neat, because then you could go, okay, I need Horizon on my first turn, even though I run 2 copies. Pay a gauge and a life. Cast that. Search my deck for Horizon for whatever reason that may be. Fuck you. I can fuck you over. Or, you know, the overturned Duel Jeager. Duel Jeager. Fuck you. You're really nice for searching. Run it at 4. I only run it at 2 because I only own 2. 3 of Strength of 1,000 Dragons. Counter. Choose a Dragon Chief Emperor monster in battle, and for this turn, give it plus 3k power, defense, and counterattack. That's okay. Now, the reason why I said that's okay is because every deck every deck that exists now can easily batter over any Dragon Chief Emperor, even with this thing's help. Literally, this thing's only purpose in life now is just for that counterattack piece. And most cards nowadays either can't be destroyed by effects, or they have multiple souls, so that ain't gonna fucking help either way. Literally, the only time this actually helped me is when I was playing a Prism player, and I had Duel Jeager in my center, and I had gotten all monsters, and they went down to 3, and then they rammed into my center, and I was like, okay, Strength of 1,000 Dragons. I win. Because fuck you. Because they couldn't pull a Quintessence off. Next up, 3 copies of the last part of that 3-card combo, Dragon Emperor Legend and Dragon Dreams. Divine Dragon Creation. Y'all know what this does. Pay 2 life, draw 2, you only cast a card once per turn. That's really nice. It's just like a free +2 that's can loop. It was, I cast Dragon Emperor, Divine Dragon Creation. I go down to 8, I draw 2, cast Dragon Emperor Legend, charge 1, gain a life, draw 1, then cast Dragon Dreams. No, so I lost 1 hand card, but gained 1 gauge and 2 life. So that's really fucking nice. And then finally, my only spell that I run 4 copies of, Trying a Dragon's Best. You may only cast a card during attacking the opponent's turn if you have 5 life or more. I feel like that's just stupid on its own, but whatever. Pay a life, nullify the attack, and put the top card into a gauge. I forgot to counter, but that doesn't matter right now. That's okay. It does help with the gauge charging, but I still question why you have to have 5 life or more. This is Ancient World. This is Ancient World. Who the fuck do you think you are? You are not Link Dragon Order. You do not have the right to put this fucking spell there. Wow. The nerve of some people. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was the deck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to raise your flag. Can you pull a Buddy Rare card?